Vamos para o babo, vamos para o babo. Vamos para o babo, mamá, vamos para o babo. Amiga chica yepo, amiga chica yepo ne, amiga chica yepo. Babu jisakune na ngana kine, babu jisakune na. Babu jisakune na ngana mama, babu jisakune na. Babu jisamiebe kine, babu jisamiebe. Babu jisamiebe mama, babu jisamiebe. Babu jisabuera kine, babu jisabuera. Vamos para o abo, vamos para o abo, vamos para o abo, mamá, vamos para o abo. Amiga chica epone, amiga chica epo, amiga. Mavila yo yo, Mavila yo yo, Mavila yo yo.
Good evening, Mr. Danny Michello. Am I right?
Yeah, I can't hear you very well. There's some echo.
Oh, bless. Better now?
Not really.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, but there's echo. Let's try and talk. Now I can't hear you. I think you're on mute or something. Yeah, you're on mute.
I hope this clears as we go along. I know it's a bit of a rush hour.
I can't hear what you're saying. There's like the echo is actually huge, big.
Oh, much. I'm trying to see how I can fix this. Okay. Any better?
A little bit better, yeah.
All right. I hope this improves. It might have been that there's some speakers on around me, which is normally the problem with StreamYard.
No, I can't hear you. Maybe there's something. You might have actually two microphones on.
That's the problem. Yes, I'm trying to see how I can switch off the other one without. Okay, I'm thinking I might need to switch off this again and start again. I think we'll just have no music in the second one. We're just not going to have any music.
I can't understand that. Sorry.
How do we this? Okay, I'm going to end this again and try and start it. Apologies for this. I hope this sorts out. Sorry. Any better now?
A little bit better.
Now? Because I think I'm switching off as many of my open.
Yeah, so there's still an echo.
Okay, let me just start this again.
Oh yeah, now that's far much better.
That's better? Okay, I think whatever it was, I've switched it off.
Okay.
Apologies for this. But I think we can make a start now.
Okay.
I think that's better. Okay. So I was trying to say you need to correct me on how to pronounce your name. Is it Michelo or Michelo? I don't know.
It's
Zambian
Michelo.
names.
I'm actually
Michelo.
Michelo. My surname is from Choma.
Ah, okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So I wanted to interview you in regards to the current situation of the students, Zambian students. We're calling them students, but I'm quite skeptical about terming them as students because I know there's so many people who go to a country. So you might have dependents, or maybe you're just one of the Zambian parent is there. And so I'm just really calling it Zambians in Ukraine at the moment.
Okay.
And you had mentioned that you were trying to help some of them. And
Yeah.
probably I'll just ask you to go into a bit of information. How did you get involved in trying to help some of the Zambians that are still stuck within Ukraine?
So there are some Zambians who study and live in Poland. They have their friends studying in Ukraine or working in Ukraine, Zambians. So
Yeah.
they're the ones who contacted me to say, Danny, we need help because our friends are stuck and they can't get into Poland. So that's how I got the numbers of phone numbers from those people who were stuck at the border.
Okay. All right. And currently, how many are at the border? Because I think we have different information at the moment, though the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has indicated and they've put out a number of the students and where they are. I think they've figured out where some students are.
So the group of Zambians that I'm in touch with, there are 27 of them. Okay. And they were on the border. They just left Ukraine, and now they're trying to enter Poland. So there are 3 others who are on their way to the border to go and join the 27 Zambians. Okay. Yeah.
All right. And unfortunately, you were informing me prior that the 27 have had to spend a night near or close to the border. Why has that happened?
So it's actually two kilometers away from mainland Poland, and they couldn't cross over because the soldiers or the immigration from Ukraine were stopping them from crossing. So priority was being given to Ukrainian citizens only, and only women and children. So that's why they were not being let on, and they couldn't understand because very few of them, I think, speak the local language there. So they couldn't speak to the soldiers and the immigration officers.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why they couldn't cross over, and that's what actually prompted me to start calling the Zambian embassy in Germany and trying to get anyone from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Zambia.
All right. Is there no Zambian consulate in Poland?
No, there is none. So we were supposed to be part of the German, the Zambian embassy in German, but we have very little contact. I'm sure they don't even know how many Zambians live in Poland.
All right. So if you had any issue within Poland, who would you be contacting as a Zambian?
Well, most of the times, sorry, say that once again.
I was saying, as a Zambian within Poland, who is sort of in charge of the Zambians? Is there somebody that stands in, or are you just supposed to automatically call up?
There's one person that was chosen by the previous government as the honorary consul. Okay. And he's a Polish man. He doesn't know a lot about us Zambians and what we do in Poland or how many of us are there. So if there's a problem, most of the times I will actually come across that problem and then I'll contact people and we'll try and help them. So I have a group of about 32, 35 Zambians. So we have a WhatsApp group and the Facebook page. So we try and help one another. So we solve things on our own, and sometimes even trying to help people who don't have a visa or anything like that. We connect them back home or with other embassies or with the Polish government and try to help them out. That's how we solve problems.
All right. So I think in the last couple of hours, we have received a statement from the government stating that they're trying to get help across, that there's somebody from the embassy at the border. Have you managed, do you know who is there, or you're still a bit unawares, or these are just arrangements that the government has made and you're not still attached, you're still not in contact, I think?
Yeah, so I talked to one person from the embassy who was traveling to that site, to the border. Yeah. And then I spoke to the honorary consul himself to actually tell him to tell him and ask him what is actually happening, because he was there trying to help, but he didn't know who he was going to help. So I had contact with the people who are in Ukraine, and I was actually translating to him in Polish what is actually happening with our Zambians that side, and also giving that information to the Zambians who are in Ukraine.
All right. So the situation still remains a bit dire. The 27 or all the Zambians are still behind Ukrainian border.
So 17 have actually managed, in the last 30 minutes, 17 have managed to cross. They have left Ukraine. Now they're trying to enter Poland. So this is where I was actually, I got information from the Zambian embassy and the honorary consul to say they have actually arranged temporary visas for them, and they'll arrange transport, like a bus, to take them to the capital city, which is Warsaw. And then from there, maybe they'll fly back to Zambia. So about the flight, that's also just like a rumor, but the bus, I'm sure it's there waiting for them. So I was actually, the last thing I did, I was actually trying to connect one of the girls who I have her number with the honorary consul who's at the place, because she didn't know that someone is actually waiting for them. So I told her to actually kind of inform the whole group, the 17 of them, to say someone is actually waiting for them on the other side. If you talk to the Polish immigration, tell them you are Zambians and there's someone waiting for you. So those are 17 girls, and the 7 men are still behind. They're still in Ukraine, because the priority is actually being given to women and children.
All right. Now that's great news. So are you optimistic that the other group, the 27, will manage, the ones that spent the night last night, will manage to cross over tonight?
Yeah, now I'm optimistic, because last night, like the statement that came from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the people who were in Ukraine, they didn't know anything about that. Yeah. They were completely off because they left home, I don't know, maybe some of them 30 hours ago. Their batteries have died off. They are not on the phone. You know, people are shooting and they're shelling. So you don't have time to go and let me check on what is on social media and who's going to help me. So that's why we actually only had like a few numbers of people that we can actually talk to whilst they are running away from that side.
All right. So, but generally, how are they? I think that's another question.
Of course, they are frightened and they are tired and they don't know what is happening. And, I don't know exactly how long they lived in that country or what the situation was exactly, but they don't know where they're going. They're just running away from war. So some of them are frustrated, they are tired, they are scared, and at least now they are hopeful that they're at the border, and once they cross the border, I'm sure things will be far much better. But last night it was bad hearing their voices and how they didn't have hope that they might actually get back home. Yeah. But right now there's actually hope, because we have 17 of them have crossed. The 7 of them by tomorrow morning, I'm sure they should actually manage. I was actually trying to tell them, to say, you guys, listen, you can walk across the border, because you're actually running away. It's only 2 kilometers, but they don't know where the other border post is. But I actually checked the map and everything, and then of course informed some colleagues of mine, because I've been here for some time, so I have a number of friends in Poland who can actually help them with transport, with food, where to sleep, and things like that. So that once they cross into Poland, that we can actually easily manage without a problem. Right. So the main problem was for them to cross over into Poland.
All right. No, I'm really happy to hear that they are okay. I'm just hoping that as many cross over, because I think the numbers equally are a little foggy. You hear they're about 200, you hear about the 147. So the numbers are a little foggy. I'm just hoping that as many of them get in touch and they are aware that there's help that they can get across the border.
Yeah, so depending on where they were, so they'll go to different countries. So others, I'm sure they're going to Romania. Others might even go into Russia itself, which is actually attacking. And the others are coming into Poland. So apart from those 17 that actually crossing now, we had 4 of them who crossed during the day. They actually managed. I don't know how they managed to actually cross over. They are with the honorary consul at the border itself. They have a place where they're a warm place and food for them where they're being kept, of course. Yeah.
Right. So what is your message to the Zambians? What can we do?
For the Zambians
It's a
who
little
are
hopeless, but yeah.
out in Europe, I would say, guys, we all come from Zambia. It doesn't matter what our status is. Let's
Absolutely.
stay in a community. We
Mm.
Ubuntu. We are supposed to help one another wherever we are. Don't
Yeah.
isolate yourself, because once a situation like this comes up, it's very difficult to get help if people don't know you. So let's
Yeah.
stay in the community. For those who are back home, I would actually ask them not to kind of make jokes out of it, because I've seen a lot of jokes, a lot of memes that
Absolutely.
actually.
It's quite unfortunate. I've felt very embarrassed, perhaps, because I'm thinking, we are saying that what did you go to do in Ukraine? And we're saying these are all students, and we're in desperate need of professionals. These are not people that are going to stay there. They're going to study and they'll be coming back. And it's such a small number when you hear 147 to 200.
Yeah, from what the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the list they have, it doesn't even go up to, I think, to 50. What the numbers that they actually put there. But we have different levels of people in Zambia. There are those who are educated, those who have traveled, those who might know what is happening abroad, and then there are others who just want to attack, of course. And depending on the media platform that you're coming from, so others support this party, others support that party. For them, it's just to attack, and others is lack of knowledge, ignorance. So it's not everyone who goes abroad who's a bad person. It's not everyone who goes abroad who comes from a rich family. There are, for example, in Poland, we have orphanages orphans that have actually come from orphanages like Kasisi. They are studying medicine here. Once they complete, they're going to serve Zambia. They're going back as doctors and medical people who are well qualified. So people who are out, most of them, they come, get the knowledge, they go back home, and Zambia actually benefits a lot. So it would be senseless to actually start attacking people who went abroad just because they are in an unfortunate situation. Unfortunately, this is going to happen all the time.
Yeah. Probably one of the things that we can probably learn from this, what do you think the government should do next time? A little better? Or
so the government should actually work much faster and not wait until the situation has actually escalated, because right now this part of Europe has been cut off when it comes to flights, and then trains as well now are not moving in Ukraine, so all the lines have been cut off to make sure that the Russians are not using transport to go inside. So even trying to get someone who's like in Kiev right now, a Zambian, it would be very difficult, close to impossible. And of course, stock taking. So the Zambian embassies in Russia, German, wherever they are, they really have to have the numbers of the Zambians living in those places. And I kind of know these people, not really having them as family or close friends, but just to know, let's say in Poland, we have 50 people, we have 10 in Warsaw, we have 5 in Krakow and places like that. If anything happens, we know Danny might actually run to us for something like that. I think they don't have the stock taking. They don't have the names of the people who are actually abroad. That's what they actually have to improve on, and they have to do that quickly, faster.
Yeah. So unfortunately for this particular group in Ukraine, we could still have people still stuck even as far back as still in the capital in Kiev.
Yeah, that's very possible. Because we have people that actually were sponsored by families to go and study. There are people that have been working there. There are others that actually went there because of relationships or something like that, connected with family, but they have Zambian ties and they have Zambian family and stuff like that. Others were working. So and then there's no embassy in Ukraine itself. So those in Ukraine were actually being serviced by Russia, and Russia is the aggressor in this situation. So even the Zambian embassy in Russia, I don't know if it's working well, if they know exactly what's happening. So even when I was actually making the calls in the morning, the Zambian embassy in Russia was trying to get this honorary council in Poland to collect those people, and now we have 8 points borders with Ukraine, and we don't know which Zambian is at which border.
At which border? Yes. So that's a whole lot of confusion.
And then he was also getting information from the German embassy, so he was kind of confused. So he didn't know what he's actually doing. He's getting information from this side, and some of us concerned Zambians who've been away for a long time, but very concerned. We like this. We would like to help each and every person who's like from Zambia. We just kind of feel like family. We were trying to talk to him as well to help.
Yeah.
So if we can improve on communication and then making sure that we know who's where as Zambians, unless someone is hiding, of course. But
That's
knowing
true.
who's where, it's like very, 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 very important.
Very important. Yeah. Mr. Danny Michelo, thank you so much. I think this has been really eye-opening. I'm sure we'll still be getting in touch as and when, and hoping that more and more Zambians get across to the different borders. We are still trying to I'm still trying to get in touch with another group in Russia, I believe. So I'm still waiting to hear from that group and how many they are and that kind of thing. And thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for going all out on the Ubuntu aspect, and thank you to you and the many other Zambians that are trying to get as many across. And please do let us know how it goes as the night progresses.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you so much. This has been a special interview on the current situation of the Zambians within Ukraine and those that have just managed to leave. We're speaking to Mr. Danny Michelo, who's just told us that at least 17 have managed to get across, and that a consulate official who's appointed by the previous government is there actively helping. So I think that gives us a lot of peace of mind, and hoping that as many, as I've already mentioned, get across. So good evening, and please keep the Zambians in Ukraine within your prayers.
Thank you.